What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back again today with another live stream. Man, it's college football rivalry week today, and it has been some shockers today. My Roll Tide just got rolled over. I think it was like 2 minutes left. That game is over, man. They can't move the ball. But the Michigan, the Ohio State faithful, that one's going to sting for a little bit, man. I mean, they not only beat them, but they beat them convincingly. Like if it was a close win, a field goal, turnover at the last minute. No. They convincingly pounded those kids, man. Ended the whole Ohio State and them being the greatest team and all this. Yeah. That's over with. So now the college football playoff window looks a little different now. I don't know who's going to be. I can see Georgia. Even if Georgia loses, they go. But as far as Michigan, I think Michigan got a shot, man. I think Michigan should be.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Alabama, 131 left. They're on the 2-yard line. Incomplete pass. Under pressure. Man, I'm doing good. But man, it's just like college football is you look at parity, you look at not the same team win all the time. Alabama. I mean, you go back. Like he was talking about Michigan and Ohio State. Man, it's like, boy, Ohio State has been really putting. Michigan had a hard time beating Ohio State for the last 5 years at least.
I mean, but Urban never lost to him out of seven years. Never lost to him.
Yeah, and I don't think his replacement has lost to him in at least the last 3 years. But
yeah,
I mean, Michigan got a good running game, man, and they utilized that today. And sometimes the football gods say it's time for somebody else to take over.
It is time. For
Lord knows
else.
Jim Harbaugh was getting a lot of pressure for not being able to beat Ohio State, man.
Yeah. Yes, he was. So if it's not Monroe Tide, I got to hitch my wagon to Georgia. So Georgia, they got to go. Hey, you got to beat Bama in the SEC championship game and go win the national title. Because I mean that team, regardless of if Bama won today, going into that game, man, Georgia's defense is suffocating.
Well,
and you see what Alabama's offensive line looks like against a subpar Auburn team.
Well,
so just imagine what Georgia's going to do.
Don't count them out. They're in Auburn territory.
They're in Auburn territory. What they trying to tie it up, man?
It's a minute left, and boy, he's under pressure.
Yeah, that kid is going to stay under pressure, man.
Yeah, they're like at about the 44 of Auburn with 53 seconds left.
Okay. Well, we're going to open the show talking about one of your favorite guys, Mr. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is back in the news. Man.
I'm interested to hear what he's back in the news for.
So apparently Ben Simmons is he's running out of money. He's having money issues because they say that Ben lives a extravagant lifestyle. And he's bought 2 homes in Philadelphia totaling $17 million. He buys a new car every month. So already he's lost, I think it's over $3 million in salary with game checks and fines and things like that. And now they're saying that he signed a $177 million deal a few years, not too long ago. But even with that said, the money he's spending, what he's spending as quick as it comes in, seems like. It doesn't sound like the young man is investing, because at no point should you have to go back to the 76ers because you're out of money. You've been in the league for what has been 6-7 years already.
At least 6. Yeah.
So why is Ben Simmons out of money? This is where true freedom, knowing when you have true freedom, is financial freedom. The ability to be able to do what you want. Kyrie Irving has financial freedom. So he's like, okay, cool. You want to get this back mandate? Okay, I don't want to play. But Ben Simmons, if you're going to do this, if you're going to play hardball with the Philadelphia 76ers, you need to at least have your finances in order, because you got to know that his whole team going into this, they act like they didn't know he wasn't going to get paid. I don't understand that. But this is hilarious. And this looks bad on the 76ers just as bad as it does on Ben Simmons, because now you're not going to get anything for him now. You're going to get a ham sandwich, you trade him now.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon, I mean, it's almost like the soap opera never stops. What's going to happen next in this Ben Simmons? I don't even know I just said the Ben Simmons reality show. And, for a guy who knew that there was going to be some type of either holdout situation or something going to go on, you could have forecast that as soon as last season ended, that he was going to be in some type of squabble with that franchise. And for somebody like that who's still trying to live, I mean, they living a lavish lifestyle is one thing, but being smart and not being smart is probably the best way to describe them. Is that, man, you got to bulk. I mean, you got to, at this point, you got to be the guy who's smart enough to know either don't spend lavishly, don't have some money set aside, because you knew coming in this season that was going to be, Philly wasn't going to give in. They wasn't going to give in easy if they were going to give in at all. And this was going to be like a long out, drag out, knockdown, that they were going to, show you and you going to show them. And for a guy not to have the business sense to not prepare for that just shows even more about his immaturity as a young man, not even, not only not taking it professional as a basketball player, but not even taking it to a point where you got the right type of business sense, I mean, you it's almost like you're a pawn in the ship here, man. It's like every move, I feel that it ain't even strategic no more with him. It's another mistake, and it's like, man, I mean, you got to get, if you're going to try to force another house and try to get their house in order and you don't have your own house in order, what that says about you.
They said he may have been influenced dealing with the Jenners, because he was with Kendall Jenner, and they spend money on another level. I mean, you see with the Jenners and the Kardashians, I mean, they got monopoly money, man, at this point. So I mean, and they're always going to have flow coming in, because the matriarch of that family is a business savvy woman. Say what you want to say about him. She monetized her daughter's beauty, all of them, and they've made an empire off of it. That's her talent. She's a businesswoman. But Ben, you can't spend money like that, Ben. You can't. He's going to lose up to $20 million if he does not play this season. If he doesn't come back, and you're already in cash flow problems, and we in the beginning stages of the season, and 20 games ain't even been played yet, and you out of money already, Ben. That's a problem. That's a fundamental problem. That's having people in your corner.
Oh,
what happened?
They just scored a touchdown, man.
Bama scored?
Yeah.
Oh, see why they playing these games with me, man.
Oh man, he caught like a 30-yard bomb, Brooks.
Yeah, man. After Jameson Williams got kicked out the game for that was bogus targeting. It's the rule, but they got to take targeting. They got to redo targeting, because anytime it happens to anybody, it's just, I look at it and I'm like, I understand the rule, and that's the rule, and you're supposed to put them out, but come on, you can't put people out for that bogus targets that they be having.
Man, I gotta say this, man. Auburn to me is like the most snake-bitten football program in the country.
And they do it to themselves.
Yeah, it's like, how do you lose the lead? You got 10-3, you got them backed up all the way to their, like, I think they started that drive on their 3-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
They get I think they on the drive they got penalized like twice.
And analytics has shown that now. They said that if the defense has at least 2 penalties, the offense scores at least 80 or 90% of the time after 2 defensive penalties.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. 2 defensive penalties, and they're most likely going to score.
Man,
A
I tell you
touchdown.
what, man, that's how you can lose your job as a coach, man. You can
Yes.
go play prevent. You got. I mean, it just. I mean, they checking to see if it's a touchdown, but he got both. Actually, he got both feet in.
Mm.
But Auburn is the most snake bitten program in the nation, man. Not to be able to pull that game out, man.
Well, they'll go to OT, so we'll see what they do in OT.
Man, Auburn
Because
ain't
I
gonna
don't.
stop that team in OT. They done lost this game right here, right at this moment. They ain't gonna pull that game out.
Yeah.
Auburn is cooked like that turkey you had. Yes, I mean Thanksgiving, man. They cooked.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
let
But
that team go all the way down the field, like 90, like it probably was like a 97-yard drive. I don't have the volume up, but man, how can you your rival game
yeah.
in your own house and you let that team march all the way down the field on you for a touchdown? I mean, come on, man. There's 24 seconds left in the game. They did that in like less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say I'm watching the. Yeah, I'm watching the replay now. Terrible, man. But yeah, Mr. What was I saying? Oh, talking about Mr. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has a bunch of yes people around him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Walmart Tavius, Pookies, and Ray Ray's Uncle Cephas and all of them who's pulling and tugging at him each and every way, giving him bad advice. Because right now, Ben Simmons should be in the 76ers uniform playing basketball. I understand he doesn't want to be there, but that's the only thing you can control because now your value is very low. Now he needs to get back on the court to get his own personal value back up. Forget
Yeah.
about giving the 76ers value and helping them out. You need to help yourself out. And the way you help yourself out, unfortunately, it helps out the 76ers, but you need to help yourself more than anything. He needs to get back on the court.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I think hey, ain't nobody gonna slide him and said he didn't win the tussle between management. I mean, it's always to the point
So
like, man,
what?
throw up the white flag,
Yes.
go back to the team. If you gotta tell the team you're sorry, go ahead and say it, and go back and try to, yeah, like you say, play for your value, so you
Yeah.
can, so you could foster or get a trade developed, just by your play alone, because it's not, to be honest, it's. I think the guy that's losing this war is Ben.
It's been. It's
I
been
mean,
now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
he can't show his value. He's not on the court, and he's not helping the situation. Every time he miss a game, it's like he's hurting his own cause. It's like
Mm-hmm.
hell, he might even have a hard time getting back in the league if this continue to be like this. You lose a month, you lose a week of games. It's not beneficial to you to not play at all. I mean, that's no benefit at all, man. And
Yeah.
knowing Ben, when he's not playing, he's probably not even sharpening up his game. He's probably not. Well, we know he's not playing, and he's
Mm-hmm.
probably not practicing either.
Yeah. He's spending money. I know
Yeah.
that's what they said he's been doing. And I was listening to a guy goodness. Okay. I listened to a guy fairly often named Jada Black, and he was talking about it. And he had this story. He was saying that he said Ben seems like somebody who's suffering. He has some issues going on, and his way of coping with the issues that he's having is spending money. He's trying to heal it with money, trying to heal by spending money and spending and spending and spending, and it's not going to do anything. No, he needs to get to the root cause and issues of what's going on with him and why he's unhappy. And him being wanting to get out of Philadelphia could be one of those reasons. But you got to go along to get along, man. It's just
Yeah.
you can't go like a toddler and demand I want out and slam on the table and they're going to get you out. No, you got to play the game, man.
You got to be professional.
Yeah,
Even if you got to take a hit, take the hit, because you got to see the big picture and not just okay, man, I'm pissed off, I'm upset. I'm gonna let them know, and I'm gonna show them by not showing up. And then here
yeah,
we have it, where he don't show up. Do we really care if we the Philadelphia 76ers? We
Right.
I mean, it almost where you hear the coach jargon to the kids to say you're never bigger than the team. That's basically
Yeah.
what this is all about. You're never bigger than the team, and it's not going to stop because you're mad at the franchise. You do you think that the league care at all? Do you think that Philly going to stop playing basketball because Ben Simmons is pissed off and they took some of his money and put it in escrow because he's being fined for not showing up? Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that's going to stop the 76ers from traveling to this place and that play and play the rest of their games? No. So I mean, it's like, man, come on, man. It's time for him to obviously get more, mature as a
Yeah.
person. And I'm almost to the point to say he's not going to win this war, man. As
No.
bad as Philly handled this, and I think Philly has handled this bad. I think from their perspective, professionalism, there is a such thing as free agency in the NBA, and the way they handle this and fumble it is almost to the point, man. It's hard for a free agent to not see this.
Yeah.
That this franchise, man, if they don't like you, you do something to piss them off, boy, they gonna throw you under the bus. That's what it looks like, from that
Mm-hmm.
perspective. But from Ben's perspective, he's not gaining leverage. He's not winning this fight. It's basically out of his hands anyway. I mean, it's like if Philly want to
Mm-hmm.
trade him, they'll trade him. If they don't want to trade him, which it looked like now, they're not. They're not speeding up the process at all. So I mean, he's in a no-win situation. So if you're not in a
Yeah.
no-win situation, it's time to pay the twirl the flag. Hey, whatever I need to do to
What up,
get back
Ness?
on the floor, that's what I need to do. That's what he should
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And Ness, we talking about your boy Ben Simmons and how he's running out of money. He's gonna have to go crawling back to the 76ers any day now because he can't sustain his lavish lifestyle, man. But
Lavish lifestyle, man.
lavish lifestyle, man.
And Bailey don't even have a job. So okay.
But yeah, yeah, basically. So well, I think we covered all of Mr. Ben Simmons. He's been I think an ongoing topic on the show because he just the saga continues once again with Mr. Simmons.
And another thing he could do, the best thing he could do at this point is show the league how much work he's putting in to improve his game.
Yeah,
Go on his Instagram or go on Facebook or whatever and show videos of him working in the gym and improving on his jump shot. But the thing is, Ben ain't small enough to do things like that. He feel he doesn't have to sell himself at all. He doesn't have to
yeah,
increase his value. Hey, I'm Ben Simmons. But those are things that would help him if nothing else. Go
yeah.
into put some live videos up that he's not with the team, but he's
Mm-hmm.
doing everything to improve his game until this situation get resolved. Is he doing that? No, he's
No,
overspending. He's shopping.
yeah, yeah. Like Ness say, I'm so tired of the Ben Simmons soap opera. Yeah, man, we tired of it too,
Yeah,
man.
me too, man. It's like, man, it's like one bad reality show that
Could you
never gonna go away.
could you imagine Ben doing this in the '90s and the reaction from players and just the other basketball players, teammates, and because like his teammates already done called him out. But
Yeah.
just imagine he playing back in the '90s and he pulls this right here. Oh my goodness! Say right, Uncle Jay, and all those things you mentioned is free,
Yeah, free,
free,
free of
free.
charge.
Yeah,
Help yourself. And he just not, I don't want to call a guy not smart, but come on, man, you got to be a professional. You
yeah.
got to know what leverage you have and what you don't have. And right now, he doesn't have. He probably doesn't have. He probably have absolutely
Touchdown,
zero.
Bama. Oh Lord, touchdown, Bama. Yes, sir. All right, that's first overtime. Auburn get the ball unless they go for two. Well, then Auburn can go for two too. So we'll see now if Auburn scores. But I can't believe
Man,
they coming
I
back to win
told
this
you.
game.
I
This
told
is
you.
insane.
Auburn is fried like that turkey you had on Thursday. They done. They were done when they gave up that touchdown. They shell
Oh
shocked.
yeah, they definitely shell shocked.
and gave up 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes.
Yeah. You say
Oh,
I'll say
man.
it. He said, "I'll say it for you, Unc. He not smart."
Yeah, he's not.
He just man. Hey, it is what it is, man. But we're gonna move on. And next topic, we're gonna talk about. He's been in the news this week for a plethora of things. It's not just one thing, and I would say he is one of the greatest of all time. So anytime he lifts a finger, the news cycle spins a little bit, and that is Mr. LeBron James, man. I mean, where do you start? From Isaiah Stewart to his suspension to the fans who he had got ejected, and he hit a game winner. And then last night they up against the Kings, and they give up 144 and OT, and he misses the game-winning shot. Like, I mean, it's been a crazy news cycle for him for the past, I would say, 72 hours, especially the last 3 days. But I think the Isaiah Stewart situation, I mean, just watching it, I like to listen to Jalen and Jacoby and Jalen Rose and Dave Jacoby. And Jalen Rose said it best. He's like, "Yo, I hate falling." He said, "We talk about it all the time. Falling is something you say. I just hate falling." So he said, if LeBron doesn't do what he did, he falls and hit the ground. And he said it was not a malicious thing. It was it's basketball. People do it all the time. It just happened to get Isaiah Stewart across the eye. And I don't know about you, Mr. Reid, but I am not buying the whole team got to hold me back. I'm just on this ravenous hunt to get to LeBron. Let me at him. Let me at him. Let me go. Let me go. No, trying to run in the tunnel to come out the other side to come get him. Dude, you were an arm's length away from LeBron James and didn't do a thing. As soon as everybody came in between y'all,
Yeah.
converted, it was hurry up, hold me back. I'm not buying it, Mr. Reid.
Well, I'll say this, Brandon, because I don't watch this about 3-4 times.
Mm-hmm.
He once he saw blood,
Yeah,
it's just like he just went like
he lost it.
he lost it. He started seeing that blood trickle from his from where he
His
was
eye.
hit, his eye, and it started flowing down. He became a maniac just like that. You know,
Yeah,
I think when he first got hit, I don't think he realized what the impact of what that hit was. But when he saw blood, it's like,
yeah, yeah.
and you know, he had a conversation before he got maniac. So I don't know what he said. He walked up to LeBron and he was like arm's length. He could have done something then, but
Could
he
have done
said something
something.
to him.
Yeah.
But man, when he saw that blood trickling down, yeah, he just it,
Let's see what Nesco say. It didn't look intentional to me, and from what I saw, LeBron said, "My bad." And that's the thing too. Like LeBron, number one, LeBron is not a dirty player. The people don't ever think that he's not a dirty player. He's never gotten that moniker. He's never done things like we know who the dirty players are. You
yeah.
know, Chris Paul is a dirty player. I mean, that's just what it is. Chris Paul is a dirty player, man. But LeBron James is not a dirty player. And he said he went to him. He said, tell him my bad. He told him, hey, it's inadvertent. He tried calling him after the game, and he's been trying to get in contact with him. I don't know if they've actually talked yet, but Isaiah Stewart did say that he's moving on. He's focused on winning games for his team. So maybe they squashed it because I think they play the next game. I don't know if it's tonight, but I know they play the next game the Lakers play is against Detroit. So you'll get to see part two of the part three, I guess, of the Malice at the Palace. If that's what you want to call it. But like LeBron say he was going to say my bad. And they say Isaiah Stewart said something that LeBron took exception to. And after the guy, Isaiah Stewart, said whatever he said, LeBron was like, well, hold man, I just came to apologize. You kind of taking it too far. I'm not with that. Who you talking to? And it went from there. And then once he saw the blood, like you said, and that's when they got stupid.
Yeah, he's got maniac, man. He
I understand. Yeah, I understand why they suspended LeBron. I didn't think they needed to, but they did. Oh man, Auburn scored. There you go. Auburn scored. They in there.
Now they need to go for 2.
They do. They need to end the game here. They need to end the game here. Do not allow Bama to get the ball back. Yeah, they need to go
Yeah, nice
do it. Yeah,
pass he threw to him, man.
man, that was a nice catch. That was one-handed too.
Yeah. Number 40.
Yeah,
Gale Sales lookalike for Auburn.
yeah, man. But yeah, so I don't think he should have been suspended, but I understand why they suspended him. They gave Isaiah Stewart 2 games because that display was scary. I mean, it was scary. It was like he had this ravenous hunger to just go kill LeBron, and the league's like, yo, you can't do that. I don't care what somebody did. I don't care how mad you are. That is not a part of the game. You can't do that. So I understood them giving him 2 games, but
But I
and
thought he was gonna get suspended more than that, to be honest, man. That display, I thought he was.
I thought he was gonna get more. They
Yeah,
said
go ahead.
they say the media is really after LeBron because he's so vocal on trivial issues going on in the world. They had to suspend him to not show favoritism. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And I get that, and I'm sure he understood that as well.
Mhm.
But that's not even the highlight of his news cycle, man. The highlight to me is Indiana game. So it's OT. It's about 2 minutes left, and LeBron stops. They stop play, and he go point out 2 fans. He says something to
Yeah,
the ref,
yeah.
and the ref and them they put the fans out, and they're like, I wonder. I mean, LeBron's never done that before, and everybody's calling him the snitch, the crybaby, all the little names they have for him. But when they said that fans that were right in the area said that the lady said that she hopes that Bronny, LeBron's son, dies in a car accident, I said, oh yeah, they got to go, because there's trash talk and then there's that, and there's no part of the game. No part of the game. Talk trash about him. Talk about his receding hairline. Talk about his free throws. Talking about him being part of the, I think what's the 4-6 mafia. You used to call him the 3-6 mafia. 3 rings, 6 losses. Like, make fun of that. But to say that, and then her face when she was walking out, she did little crybaby stuff, whatever. Like, she was not remorseful. She didn't care. She
Mhm.
didn't care. And I'm like, when I saw that, I said, man, that's evil right there, man. Like, that's taking it too far.
Oh, no question. Taking it too far. Just you don't want to bring up anybody's children in no situation like that, man. So that has nothing to do with the game. And then if you could call LeBron, you could do this, you could say miss this, call him out. But man, when you talking about wishing his children harm, that's got no place in the arena, and it has no place on the football field. It don't have no place whatsoever. So yeah, they should have been tossed out, and they were, and they were rightfully so. Should have they got tossed for a reason. But that's below the belt, man. You don't wish
Yeah,
anybody children. Things happen. A lot of the we don't know what the tomorrow is promised, but to be around there talking things like that about ill will to people, children, I mean, come
yeah,
on, man, that's out of line. And yep, you can call them a snitch or whatever y'all people saying about them, but
yeah,
that shoe was on the other foot. Everybody would have been offended for saying something like that, about their children, not about him,
yeah.
his children. So yeah, he did the
Oh,
right thing.
yeah. Oh, Nestle, that's going too far. That had nothing to do with basketball. Goodbye, and don't come back for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Hey, yeah, rest of the season definitely. But if they want to talk about a potential longer ban, hey, I'm
Yeah,
with it,
I'm with
because
it too.
there's no part of there's no place in the game for that at all.
Yep.
I don't understand that one. That was taking it too far. And the entitlement of the working class to think that you went and spent your money, so it's like you're at a zoo and you can say and do whatever, and these are like exhibits or dancing monkeys or something. No, these are people that you're dealing with, and people, the way people act, man, is you. I mean, you could just see it when you go to regular places, and the way people treat service workers or people they deem that don't have much value. I mean, it can get very disgusting. And the same with those people who thinking they're entitled because they paid their money to come see them. And like, well, you wouldn't have anything without me if the fan that paid the money. Yeah, but that doesn't give you a license to act like a jerk.
Yeah. And you know, we live in a world now where people play out things. You know, people, you don't want to feed things into people and make things turn from, oh, somebody said something and then they take it and then take it to the next level. You know, it's just,
Yeah,
we live in a world now that, man, it's a lot of wackos.
a lot.
And you don't want to feed that fire, you know. So like I say, man, I don't care if it's sport, I don't care if it's politics, it doesn't matter. I think when if you insulting somebody that's even like a politician, it has nothing to do with the children. So that shouldn't
Yeah,
be, you know, like even, you know, I know we don't talk about Trump, but
yeah,
as much hated he is, but we have nothing negative to say about his son. You know, I
yeah.
mean, I'm talking about the young son. People got a reason to talk about his other son, but
Well, and then they don't attack them simply because they're the children of Donald Trump. They
right,
attack them based off of the things they've said and done.
right,
Anytime they talked about Trump Jr. or Ivanka, they talked
yeah,
about things they've said and things they've done, not simply because I'm going to talk trash to you because you're Trump's kid.
yeah,
Like,
right.
I'm
And
sure those people
like,
are out there,
yeah,
but
like the young kid. I mean, he's not in the limelight. You know, he's a kid going to school, and
yeah,
you know, we don't even care about his political views, in which they haven't been stated. But you know, that's like hands off, and that's the same thing
yeah,
about LeBron kids. You know, I mean, I
yeah,
know Bronny is a great young player and all that, but man, you know, he's a kid.
yeah,
You
yeah. He
know,
is a kid.
he's a kid, and it's like, don't that he's not in public consumption. And you know, you definitely don't want to wish ill will to a kid. I don't care how much money they pay for those courtside seats.
Yeah,
That's not part of the program that you can just talk about somebody's children and wish them ill will. So that's ridiculous, man. They had no they did exactly what they got out of the arena.
they say that's almost as bad as Tyson Fury's father telling Jake Paul that after the fight he's going to do his girlfriend doggy style. He said that. Come
Uh,
on, man. Come on, man. I did not know. I got to see that. Jake Paul has been. I mean, Jake and Logan Paul. I mean, they've been on the rise, man. They actually think that they're legit boxers now. They think that they can beat anybody. You know, they've had some wins under their belt, but all it takes is one
yeah,
right, one left, and it's a wrap, man.
yeah.
It is a wrap.
The
Yeah,
pressure on Alabama. They got to make a field goal to keep it going.
yeah, they do. Yeah, I
He
see it's
look he
third and
looks a
five,
little nervous, and the kick
and
look a little too far. 38 yards.
oh, we didn't even talk about field goal kicking. Uh, uh, oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
And they done
But yeah,
froze them up,
that
man.
that news cycle for Alabama, man, not for Alabama, for LeBron James was crazy. Now, one of the funniest parts of the news cycle, um, they say these boxing matches were all entertainment only, not real fights. Yeah, I mean, you would think that the way he act after he done won these fights, man, he's the heavyweight champion of the world. Go ahead, yes, get it. Please get in the ring with actual boxers, please, guys that's been doing it for a long time, and let's see your record against those guys, especially ones that's hungry. When you talk about the top of the top guys, these hungry guys trying to make a name for themselves, they're gonna knock them smooth out. Let's
I
see,
just
but
wish like Larry Holmes or somebody was back in the heavyweight division, man. To get rid of these play heavyweight champions. Well,
oh
he
man,
he, he got it.
he got the field goal.
Yeah, hit it right
Well,
through the middle.
now they got it. Now they go back on offense. So Gilbert Arenas talked about the LeBron James Isaiah Stewart situation. It was hilarious, man. He said to Isaiah Stewart on Instagram. He tagged him. He said, Isaiah Stewart, hey brother, I'm gonna just be real with you here. Pack all that S up. Pack your winter jackets, boots, because your ass is about to be traded to Budapest somewhere. He's talking about, I don't know what type of bumbleclot blood got in your eye, but you can't charge at the king like that on TV. You'll be drug tested. To my Ti voice expeditiously. just to make sure that rage ain't drug related. We don't do that in the NBA. You probably haven't read the memo on fight attempts in the NBA. Number one, you don't square up with King James, Kevin Durant ever. Number two, the two light-skinned boys, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson of Golden State. Don't let your chest get puffy towards them or you done. You talking about three, only two teams that allowed the fist fight without any real penalties is wherever Rajon Rondo and Chris Paul is at.
Oh, man.
He said, hey, that's true, though. Yeah, that's funny, though. He said, number four, wait till your teammates get around you and then act tough for the crowd. That's what he did. He's talking about sell it like WWE. That's it. Good luck moving forward, my man. P.S. This was the worst than the gun in the locker room situation. I don't know if it was worse than the gun in the locker room situation, Gil, but this was pretty crazy. He's talking about only thing that can save you right now is MJ dropping episode 11 of The Last Dance. And edits all Scottie Pippen scenes out. Or Vanessa Bryant dropping the Mamba last season. If you think I'm BSing, ask Enes Kanter, who got too close to the king back in 2016, and the Turkish president has been trying to catch him ever since. Yo, Gilbert Arenas is ridiculous, man. But it's funny, but majority of that, I mean, there's some truth to that.
Yeah,
there's some truth to that. Because he's funny. He's right. Don't puff your chest out at Golden State, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. Don't charge at Kevin Durant or LeBron James. Yeah, this is true. And speaking of which, Enes Kanter is the last one before we get to football. Did you hear what he said about Michael Jordan?
No, what did he say?
He said Michael Jordan hasn't done anything for black people. That's what Enes Kanter said. He's only worried about selling shoes. He hasn't done anything for the black community. And man, they were killing him on Twitter. Like, thank you, Enes Kanter. The black community didn't know that we needed you to speak for us.
Exactly. And what gives them the right to even make a statement like that? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how he thinks that he has the right to even talk about something like that. Like, what do you even know, man? How do you know? Do you even know about Michael Jordan's endeavors and the things he's done?
Yeah.
But regardless of, to me, I wouldn't even talk to him about the things that Michael Jordan has done and accomplished. I would simply tell him that Michael Jordan doesn't owe the black community anything.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan worked hard to get to where he was. He didn't get handouts and stuff like that. So, what does he say? Out of the mouth of stupid comes stupid. Yeah. I mean, his own government, the Turkish government, got it out for Enes Kanter right now because he said things against them. So it's understandable that this is his MO and this is what he does. He's been critical of the government, so now he can't go back home. He's had an issue with LeBron for a long time. He's always said things about LeBron. And they said he had a chance to say something to LeBron in person, and they say he nutted up. He didn't say anything.
So why does this guy want to be in the spotlight? I mean,
this the other part,
done, man. He wasn't no great.
Basketball is done. Yeah, basketball is done. So he's trying to get relevant. He's setting up his career for after basketball. That's what it sounds like.
So what are you trying to get on the NBA game time or what, man?
He's very political, so it sounds like Fox News or CNN is where his career is trying to go because he's been very political. It ain't just been
not
about
even
basketball.
from this country though.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I don't want to talk about a person's nationality, but come on, man. It's like if you wasn't in the news as a player, what makes you think you're gonna be in the news as a retired one?
Right.
And right. He's not even telling the truth. I mean, he's trying to make it self-relevant. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Go back and retire. Be quiet. Enjoy your life as a former NBA player and stop making dumb statements. I mean, basically that's it.
That's it.
If you challenge it, like if you challenging and you like, and I like what you said, Brandon. I mean, who gave this guy right to speak for all Black America? I mean, come on, man.
Right.
I mean, Michael Jordan is retired. I mean, who, other than the thing on ESPN, I mean, he's sitting on the catbird seat, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not in the spotlight really in reality no more. I mean, Scottie Pippen might have something to say about it, but it's like, man, let the man just retire. He done been in the limelight, for a long, long time. 1985 and 1998 to be exact about it. So
Yeah.
what he's done is done. It's not like those. Stop regurgitating it in 2021. I like the conversations, and like who's better and those kind of thing. Or he made the top 75, team. But what we in 2021? I mean, who cares what he did in '96?
Yeah.
at this point, it doesn't even matter.
Right.
You know. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. And that's what we talked about a little bit last week. I just think it's too many retired guys who either feel that, the financial bonanza that they missed out on because these kids are getting it now, that they have to
Yeah.
make themselves in the news again. And it's like, for what? I mean, what, what importance do we want to hear from this guy when you know, he wasn't a great player. Even when he played, he was
Yeah.
a guy that came off the bench, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Utah and different things like that. But it's too many retired players in all sports. I'm talking football, basketball, baseball that retired, and they forcing themselves in the limelight. Just
Yeah. And they say,
yeah.
I heard he been having lunch with Pippen.
And he's another one. He was a great
I
player.
want him to stop.
I respect him and all when he was a player. But man, we don't care about your heartache because he didn't. Because basically, Michael Jordan didn't mention you in a positive light on that special. I mean, if you had a beef with Michael, you should have resolved that like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Behind closed doors, not for the
Yeah,
world to
like
see.
come on, man. You making it look bad for yourself when you do all this kind of stuff, man. Who doesn't know back if we want to go back 20 years, he was robbing. I
That's what he
don't care how
was.
you look at it.
Yeah.
He was robbing. So,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, you can't
It's sour
recreate.
grapes.
Yes,
Sour
sour
grapes.
grapes, and it's like, oh, we wouldn't have won without me. Probably so, but you still was the second guy on the team. I mean, you wasn't the first option, you know.
Yeah.
And it proved
Yeah.
when he went and played baseball those 2 years.
Basically.
What
Year
did
and a half.
what did Scottie Pippen do when he
Yeah.
when he turned into being Batman? He ain't take him
Yep.
to a championship.
Alabama just won. Good Lord. Have mercy. Lord Jesus. You said it though. You said they was done.
Yeah, they was cooked. They gave a good fight, but
They man, great fight. Great fight. Much respect to
look at
Auburn,
his
man.
play. Look at his play. The play they got beat on. He
Insane.
wide open. Walked
Wide
in.
open.
Got faked
And
on that
and
move.
Nick just talked about this. He had a press conference not so long ago where he was talking, and he was talking about people, I guess, criticizing the kids and
Yeah.
their them wanting to win and stuff. I mean, it was very good. It was a
Yeah.
very good soundbite he gave and talking about it. Like he said, they're going to get everybody's best game.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets are going to get everybody's best game. The Lakers, everybody's best game. Milwaukee, you're going to get everybody's best game. The Patriots, you're going to get everybody's best game. Tampa Bay right now is getting everybody's best game. That's just the nature of being a champion. That's what happens. And yeah,
You got to
I mean,
rise to the challenge,
yeah,
basically.
man, basically, man. So yeah, but yeah, Scottie Pippen got to cut all that out, man. You see, what Ness say before we move to football? He said, appears now that Pippen has an MJ hemorrhoid and is in need of an enema. No, hey, my favorite Scottie Pippen meme so far is when he says, the Jumpman logo is really me, not Michael Jordan.
Man,
Oh,
I tell you what, some of these guys, I'm gonna say it again. Some of these retired guys just stay retired. I mean,
Say
stop trying
retire.
to get in front of the TV And if you
Yeah.
go get in front of the television, stop. It's not going to change the narrative 20 years from what happened 20 years ago is 20 years ago. It's
It's
not
set in
going to
stone.
change. Whatever you got to be with, it ain't going to change the persona. You wrote your story, and that story is not going to change. So
Yeah.
you're going to be robbing to the day you, whatever. You're not going to change from being the second option in
Yeah.
Chicago back in the 90s. It's
Yeah.
not. You can argue it. You can talk about the guy like a dog if you want to, or whatever that gonna do. But you're not gonna change what he accomplished. You're not gonna change the fact that they won those 6 championships and you was number 2 option in those 6 championships. So let it go. It's not gonna change. You're not gonna get an extra ring because you
Yeah.
got your voice out. Because it would have been respected if you would have said it in 96,
Yes.
97, 98,
Hmm.
and you want to be real. If you didn't like the guy, you should have said it then. Who cares if you don't like him now? Hey, I mean, come on, baby. That's like that's like Fred G fussing with Lionel. I mean, who cares?
Who cares? Who
I
cares,
mean, come
man?
on, man. It's like you messing up the little prestige that you got anyway. I mean, man, you got so many things that you can add to your profile, and you
Yeah.
got right now. You sound just like you arguing over sour grapes that happened 20 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. There's more to life.
Dude, I completely checked out from everything he said when I heard that he said everybody talks about the Jordan's flu game, but you can play with the flu. I had a game where he had a messed up back and he played. He said so people talk about the flu game, but they don't talk about the back game. And I'm like, yo, dog, come on, dog, come, really?
Well, what about the game where he wouldn't get out? Wouldn't and Jackson was the coach and he wouldn't come on the floor. What about that game?
Yeah, when they called the game winning shot to be taken by coach,
Yeah, he
he
got
didn't come
mad.
off the bench. He
Yeah,
got
yeah,
mad.
yeah. They didn't even come in the game. I mean, what
Mm-hmm.
that says about him,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and
yeah,
what it says about when Michael went on this mini retirement, he didn't lead him to a championship. It was his team for 2 years. He didn't lead him
yep.
to a championship. He couldn't even get past the Knicks. So
Yeah,
what it
see,
says about him?
yeah, they say if I had played on those teams and won 6 rings and made history, I wouldn't complain about nothing. Just dumb. No, I'd be still coasting off them six rings right now. If I was Scottie Pippen, dude, I have Scottie Pippen brand everything. I'd have me a career in sports TV if I wanted. His son is playing. He's a great prospect. I'd be at his games, dude. I'd be living the life. He
Yeah.
finally got his ex-wife up out of there, who was causing all kind of turmoil. That's well documented between him and Larsa Pippen. That really should have been his focus and not Michael Jordan, because that right there has made him look worse than this right here. But knowing all of that, man, that's what you should be focused on, not Michael Jordan, something that happened 20 years ago, because you got your feelings hurt and you ain't like the way you was portrayed and you felt like Michael Jordan got the majority of the shine. So
Uh,
what, man? Who cares? Who cares? Because none of that what you're talking about, if we go back and change any of that, none of that changes. Does that put more money in your pocket? Do you
no.
win more
Yeah,
championships?
yeah.
I mean, does the story of the Bulls change? No, it doesn't change, man.
And he's mad because of how he was portrayed, but he the one that signed that contract. I mean, people told him not to sign that contract. He signed it anyway. So the Bulls owner say, "Well, I told you not to sign this because we're not renegotiating." I mean, so
Yes.
it was a fact. It's like he added a fact in that Jordan rules. I mean, it's just I don't
Yeah.
know what else. I mean, so he wasn't supposed to put that in part of the Jordan show. I mean,
Right.
come on, man, you can't change history. That was part of the history, and he was mad. That's why he ended up in Portland, basically. You know,
Yeah.
but just this resentment and this, he's saying stuff he's saying now, but he wouldn't say it when he was a player. I mean, who cares now? It's an
Yeah.
afterthought. Nobody cares. Shit. Yeah, I mean, it's
Nobody
like,
cares.
man, you got so many more things that you could talk about. Talk about the present day guys, what they not doing, or how can they game improve, or commentary on what's happening right now with the NBA with the younger players. But this stuff going back to 90 whatever, I mean, that has no who no don't what's done is done. Not gonna change it, whether you like it or not.
Not going to
You know,
change at
and another
all.
thing I say this is Jordan didn't volunteer to have that whatever it was, the documentary. I mean, they didn't. I mean, that was ESPN came to him. You
Right.
know, they had compiled those tapes, and he for like the last 15, 20 years didn't even want to have that released. But when the pandemic and there was no sports, and they got all the, they got all the interviews and everything. They came to Jordan and say, "Man, this would be a perfect time to put
To
all this
release it.
together and release it." And he said he
Yeah.
agreed. You know, we were man, we were sitting in our homes without watching sports, so. He had editorial control and all that, but I don't. I mean, I think he said the truth about some things. I don't think he just targeted Scotty and made him into a villain. And he
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, look, man, we gonna switch topics and gonna get into some football. But let me see. Get this last one in here. Let's see. Pippen is tarnishing his own legacy with this nonsense.
Yep.
Seriously, yeah, he is. He is. He's tarnishing his own legacy with this nonsense,
Wrote
man.
a book, man. Like write a book
Yeah.
that should have been
Yeah.
written in '96.
Right. So, as you see the title here, your boy is back, man. I think we talked about him last week or the week before, and the whole surrounding the Odell Beckham and all that drama. So it says Browns locker room reportedly very close to turning on Baker Mayfield. And I will say you got to get your credit, Mr. Reid, because you said this before. You said that you felt like he was not a natural leader. You
Mm-hmm.
said that on the show before. And this right here highlights most likely what you said and what it's probably coming down to. He said the Cleveland Browns entered the 2021-22 NFL season with a lot of hype. There was chatter of them giving the Baltimore Ravens a legitimate challenge for the AFC North crown and possibly making a deep playoff run. Unfortunately, the wheels came off very quickly. As things currently stand, Cleveland is 6-5 after 11 games and sits fourth in the AFC North. At the core of the Browns' issues is quarterback Baker Mayfield. Not only has he struggled mightily on the field, but he appears to have alienated not one but two of his star wide receivers. According to Skip Bayless of Fox Sports, the Brown locker room is very close to turning on Mayfield at this point. I'm not going to play that clip, so I don't want to get copyrighted because I'm sure they're going to be like, you can't use our content. I talked to one source last night that is a very good source that is very plugged into the Cleveland Browns and knows a lot of players, Bayless said. The source told me this is all about Odell Beckham. His mystique and his aura is much bigger than his production over the last 4 years. He has been beat up. He's had 3 surgeries in 4 years, but I'm going to leave all that alone right now. But he's still on the pedestal. My source told me that the team is very close to turning on Baker because there's no more Odell. Because even LeBron tweeted free Odell, and once Odell got freed and goes to the Rams, everyone else in the locker room thinks, gee, I wish I could be free. I wish I could get out of here too. They are turning on Baker. There's a reason why Baker Mayfield is lashing out at fans and his wife is losing it on social media. They feel the heat. The end appears now for Mayfield as a stint as the Browns starting quarterback. While it's unclear when precisely it's coming, it's definitely coming at some point in the foreseeable future. Man. And I always tell you, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's some truth to this. Now, it may not all be the intricate details of what's going on and how it's going on, but that is basically there to let you know, just like the Jaguars, somebody in that building leaked that their coaching staff is at a crossroads about how to develop Trevor and what to run. That came straight from the organization. It didn't come from anywhere else. Mm-hmm. This is coming straight from the Cleveland Browns organization. Somebody wanted this information out, which means there's going to be a change at some point.
And you know what I mean? A lot of times, a lot of times things don't have to be spelled out. It can be watching mannerisms during the game. How
Yeah.
the guy reaction is on the sideline, how he get angry when a pass not being called, or he threw a nice pass, but the pass not being, not hauled in for a catch, or a guy, can, hey, Baker did a quarterback sneak and they keep the camera on him on the sideline and he's not congratulating his offensive lineman. I mean, those are things that's our leaders. I mean, when you see
Yeah.
Baker is too much into Baker.
Yeah.
And you can see it. I mean, you can see from his mannerism, you can see how he reacts, and he's too touchy feely. He's too.
Yep.
If you rub him the wrong way, you'll cross him the wrong way, or take too much of the limelight from him, then he resents you. And you can't be a quarterback like that, man. That's how you divide a locker room. When you are the
Yep.
designated leader and you can't overlook a player's faults, you know. I mean, go back to Aikman. Aikman didn't like all the things that Michael Irvin did. I mean, but you think
Yeah.
you is he gonna say that publicly? No.
No. No. Look at Brady and Antonio Brown. I'm
Yeah,
sure Antonio Brown does a lot of things that Brady's like, yo, this is annoying.
yeah,
But Brady understands we
yeah.
need him.
And that's what being a leader is. You cannot win that game alone. I don't care
Yeah.
how good Baker Mayfield can throw a pass downfield. He's not going to win that game just on that alone on Sunday. He's
Yeah.
going to need the line. He's going to need the receivers. He's going to need Chubb. He's going to need this. He's going to need all 11. And
Yeah.
when you start alienating those 11, like I'm better and bigger than you are, and you can't, because he's got a personality that's bigger than mine, and I'm showing my immaturity by just I don't like it, and then whatever he says publicly, then
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah they're gonna turn on him because that's not a leader.
Yeah.
Nothing is bigger than him is not a leader, and that's how he portrays himself. Like he's got to be the man. When you a quarterback and you're making more than basically everybody on the team,
Mm-hmm.
everybody know who you are. You don't have to state it.
Yeah.
They know you the man. They don't have to. You don't have to say it. You know.
Yeah.
But you got to get along with the people who's hard to get along with. You got to make the effort.
Yeah.
I think with OBJ, I don't think he made the effort at all. I think he felt he was
None.
overshadowed. I felt like this guy coming in here from the Giants, he trying to take my team.
Yeah, it
Like
was.
trying to knock me off my statue.
Yeah.
And if a guy think like that, who's narrow minded, who who thinks that putting himself above winning is not a leader, and he's not going to be there long if that's the way, because it looks to me that's how he portray himself. He's got that commercial where he's staying at the stadium, and
Yeah.
in reality that's probably what the amount of friends he got too, just the ones at the stadium. And he
Mm-hmm.
probably don't even speak to them. He probably walk in the stadium and been seeing the same security guy for the last 8 years. Probably don't even speak to
Yeah. Yeah. And this speaks volumes as well, because if this was any other quarterback in this Odell Beckham Jr. situation, they pretty much get the benefit of the doubt.
him.
He's not even getting the benefit of the doubt, and that's amazing. It's him. Like they said,
Yeah,
it's him. It's not Odell Beckham Jr. It's him.
it's him. Yeah. And another
And
thing, man, you can have a lot of faults that can
mm-hmm.
get overlooked when you win.
Yes.
If you're not winning and you mediocre and you're not winning the games you supposed to win, you winning like twice out of the 4 games and those kind of things. Those are the things that get glaring. Those are the things that people say, man, we can't have this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't
Can't.
overlook this, man. He's not taking us to the promised land. We can do better than this. And that's what happens, man. And then the locker room conversations start. Say this guy is all about himself. He ain't about the team. He ain't about you. He ain't about me. He just about him. And don't think that those guys don't say that kind of stuff in the locker room. So Baker
Oh
better
yeah,
get it together, man. Or he'll be playing for a team that he don't want to play for.
yeah. We played for what's that? Calgary, one of the Canadian football
Yeah,
teams.
he'll be up in the north of the border. You got that right. Or he'll be a backup.
Yeah,
He'll be
they
playing
supposed to
for.
be resurrecting the USFL. So if
Oh,
they
how many
resurrect the U,
resurrections they getting, man? Well, this the night time.
I mean this is yeah. The XFL is gone, so they're going to get another football league because there's too much talent walking around. Guys that can play, that they can fund the league. Will have enough players for the league. Because look at the XFL. The XFL had a lot of talented players. You know,
Yeah.
the NFL still had their guys, and they had it where at any time they could get called up. So if you a successful league can happen if you are pretty much almost like a feeder for the NFL. So the guys who leave college who ain't going to the NFL, they can go play in that league and then put some more stuff on tape and eventually maybe get called up to the NFL. That's the only way you're gonna do it. But being in competition with the NFL, which is what the USFL originally did, it's a no go. It's a no go.
Well, I say this. You know, the minor leagues are all around the country in baseball. They don't outdraw unless it's the Marlins. They don't outdraw the major league teams.
Oh, what's up with the Marlins, man?
Well, people want to see the stars. They don't want to see a guy who, oh man, you think he can make the 53 man for the Dolphins? Do you think people want to pay money to see the third string quarterback who won't get in on the NFL team, but he'd be the star in the USFL? Heck no. The only
No.
reason why the USFL worked in the 80s because they was signing the guys off the NFL's roster.
Yes.
But I don't want to see a guy that's like a minor leaguer. Basically, that's what he is, and he can't get on a 53-man roster, but he's a star of the USFL. And then you're gonna pay. I mean, I don't know what the ticket prices is, but if it's over $15, I think that's overcharging. So
Yeah.
man, that's why that league is not gonna work in this country. People want to see the best, man. They don't want to
Yeah.
see the fourth string guy or the guy. Man, he had a lot of potential, but he couldn't make the Bears roster. But he's on USFL and he's a starting guard or something, man. It's like if he ain't with the big boys, then hey, I don't
Yeah.
want to go. I definitely, hey, I go
Well,
watch
and
it. I go watch some basketball or baseball, but I'm not gonna spend my money, sit in the hot sun in the springtime, and watch a guy that nobody knows other than the team here that he's playing for, and then some of these team names that man, it's hard to. Who gonna wear a shirt for the Kangaroos, man?
the jumbo
Who gonna
shrimp.
wear? Who gonna send their child to school wearing a kangaroo shirt that nobody know what league is that?
Right. Shoot, it's a minor league baseball team called the Biscuits.
Yeah, I believe it, just like it is with the jumbo shrimp.
Yeah. Right.
But you take that jumbo shrimp hat to Chicago and see if people know what that means. What team is that?
Right.
Man, you
But
gotta
yeah.
dance with the big boys, man. If you ain't dancing with the big boys, you ain't outside of the county. Nobody knows who you are, man. I mean, minor leagues
No.
are good. We got a minor league football team. I don't even went to a couple of those indoor games, but man, outside of Duval, you think people care?
No. Nobody cares. So yes, if Mr. Mayfield don't keep it, don't get it together because they're 6-5. So I mean, you're right in the thick of the playoff race. So he's pretty much fighting for his life, his football life right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hey, with the rest of this season, whether it's already set in stone that Cleveland is going in another direction, or whether you have a chance to change their mind, it's these last 5-6 games. These last 6 games that you're gonna play, you better put it all out there. And they say he's rounded back into shape. He's getting more healthy. But this is it. This is it because now, like you said, he's alienated 2 receivers now. You've
Yeah.
alienated OBJ, and now you've alienated Jarvis Landry. So, I mean, for your receivers to have the least amount of yards in a game since like 2016, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
And you know something else, Brandon? We live in a society now where everything is social media. But back in the day, to say this was 1978,
Mm-hmm.
and this Baker Mayfield played for the Steelers, and the Steel Curtain and L.C. Greenwood and them guys would have took him to back in the back room and say, "Look, man, if you don't change the way you are as a
Yeah,
quarterback and don't and start putting team first and you second, then we're
yeah,
gonna deal with you." Yeah, and don't think that didn't happen. They did it to
yeah,
Bradshaw. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and the only reason why things like that don't go on now because of social media. You know, it'll get out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll audio, video, or something that threaten them or something. But back
Yeah,
in the old days, man, they'll check you in a minute. Ask Deacon Jones about Roman Gabriel and people like that. But man, those guys, man,
yeah,
it might have was Broadway Joe, but other quarterbacks,
yeah. Oh yeah. And see, and this is where a guy like Brady is different, and you can't hate a guy like that because at no point has any former teammate had anything bad to say about him. Not
yeah,
once. I haven't heard it. Not even a little something. I did. You haven't heard it. Unlike Baker Mayfield, shoot, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. Phillip Rivers is another one I've never heard any teammates say anything bad about. It's a
yeah,
few of those guys out there that nobody's had anything bad to say it, but you got those guys where, man, it's them. They have that attitude, like Aaron Rodgers. He kind of has that. I would call like almost basically like the princess complex where it's pretty much about him.
oh
It's
yeah,
all about them. It's all about them. They
yeah,
the star of the show. This
yeah,
is my show. People come to see me. Yeah. And that sometimes that can rub people the wrong way. But the way you get past that is you don't have to be one of the guys, one of the fellas, one of the boys, or be this, just this great locker room guy.
yeah,
Like you said, you got to play well. If you play well, that'll cure a lot. Hey, like, yo, man, that dude's a jackass, but man, he can show spin the
yeah,
ball.
exactly. We can go back to Brett Favre. He wasn't the friendliest guy either, but hell, he won a Super Bowl and he
Yeah,
won more than he lost. So
yeah,
there are some instances where a guy just old butthole and he just don't get along with nobody. But
and he
on
get to play.
Sundays he can play.
Yeah,
So just like Jimmy Johnson said, there's all you don't treat every player the same. Some earn
yeah,
privileges that others don't get, and the ones that got to win, the ones that win consistently and sacrifice themselves to win. Now, I don't think Baker Mayfield is that type of guy. I don't think he sacrificed for the team. I think he's
yeah,
a guy who feels that his reputation as a quarterback and the fact that he has potential to win, even though he hadn't delivered, in my opinion,
no,
should be warrant respect.
yeah,
And he carries himself like that. But you know, Aaron Rodgers is a different beast, man. Aaron Rodgers done won a Super Bowl, won an MVP of the league. I mean, so he's got some skins in his closet. Baker ain't
yeah,
got those skins yet, man. He
yeah,
may not never have them. And I agree with the whole story, man. I think, hey, who knows, man? They might. I don't think they'll give up on this guy this season. But if this same, I mean, what are they threading? Well, they round 500. I mean, it's just, I
six
mean,
and five, six
six
and
and
five.
five, 6 and 5. So they hanging by a thread for the playoffs. And I think if things don't change and you know the guy don't start taking a focus, mature a little more, and stop being confrontational with his own teammates. I think if he doesn't change over the next year or so, man, they are gonna cut that cord from him, man. And I think things
Yeah,
gonna go start being publicly about his lack of leadership. and that things get out. It may not be
Yeah.
directly, but when a head coach get on an interview podium and says that we're looking for leadership on offense, that's telling you right there that they ain't getting it from the guy that's supposed to be the leader. We got to find leaders. There's different things that they say, but
Mm-hmm.
it's implying that we're not getting the leadership at the most important position on offense.
Yeah.
And we got to go find and search. When that stuff start happening like that, when those statements being said, they're looking for another quarterback. Whether they
Yeah.
got to bring in another veteran or they got to go out and draft another one. And it just seems to me like Cleveland always have issue, man. They go get the wrong quarterback. They I mean, it's always something that pulls them to not being a consistent winner. It's
Yeah.
just I said this, the kid from Texas A&M, out of all the teams that drafted a quarterback, that would have been the least one from the franchise who had a history of trouble to go out and get him. And what they do, they draft him.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
after all the warning signs, oh man, you can't get this kid, man. He's not mature. He likes to party. He's not serious about the game, and they still go pick him.
Right.
So
Um, well, that's a great segue into next topic. You speaking of coach speak, coded language, and saying cryptic thing as a coach staff. The coaching staff in Jacksonville, I think, has that down, no question, by some of the things that they say.
yeah, I got
Um,
strong opinions about this topic because it's just I don't know, man. I can read through the cryptic codes.
yeah,
I can hear what the conversation being from what the head coach is saying and what the offensive coordinator is saying. I wrote a story about this for Sunday, and my conclusion is this: Daryl Bevel feels that it's his job to protect Trevor Lawrence. You know, he's not a big fan of RPOs. He doesn't want him to run a
yeah,
lot. He call it free yards, meaning that if he's dropping back to pass and there's no lineman or nobody in front of him, that he has the green light to run. But the head coach, who goes back and watched those Clemson tapes and saw him rush for 973 yards in 3 seasons
uh huh,
and took advantage of the run option plays, he's saying, well, why the hell we not running those type of plays? I mean,
right,
we got to take advantage of both his strengths as an arm, as a passer, and as a runner.
yeah,
And a lot of stuff in that coaching staff is being leaked,
yeah, yeah. It is,
you
yeah,
know.
it is.
And my conclusion is this: I don't think he has a lot of this is Urban Meyer. I don't think he has a lot of friends within his own coaching staff. I think he's got coaches who doesn't want to be berated. I think he's got coaches who basically feels that I got more experience than he has in the NFL. So what give him the right to tell me that I'm wrong when he's learning on the job? You know,
Yeah,
it's egos. And
yep,
who's right or wrong? Hey, you gotta utilize this. I mean, my thing is this, Brandon. I said this even before the season started. I said it in the spring. The Jaguars didn't do their homework, and this is Urban. This is even the owner. They
yeah,
did not do their homework. You're not going to put this kid in a successful situation if you got a bad offensive line. They got a bad offensive line. I don't. Hey, if you got Jawan Taylor jumping off sides, I think I counted it up in 5 games. I think he's got 4 holding calls. And if
yeah,
if your depth is so bad that you can't bench him because he's making the same mistakes each week, then what that says about you in adding talent. You didn't add talent. You brought in you made it easy, and I'm talking about Trent Baalke too, who was here the
yeah,
year before, where you said continuity is what we need to do. We need to keep these guys. But if you go back to the 219, 220 season, Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone said the same thing. You know,
Yep.
we think these guys are good. They've been together this amount of time. We don't think we have to go out and revamp this line. We believe in it in this. Okay, well, 219 season. Look at the stats. 220 season. Look at the stats. Look right now. It's not that stats can be deceiving. They're not giving up a high rate of sacks, but they're not protecting them.
Right.
They're allowing the pocket to get closed before he can even go down and throw downfield.
Yeah.
And who do you blame that on? You blame that on that you guys did not do your job in getting this line to be what it is. He can't be a great quarterback if he's running for his life every passing down, you know.
Right.
And that's and there's no other way to explain it. So if it's hampering his development because you got an offensive coordinator basically saying, I'm scared this kid might get hurt because let alone RPOs, he's getting too much, he's getting hit too often. He's getting pressured out the pocket too often. And you got a head coach who basically telling them that your play calling is not creative enough. You're not doing enough to throw that defense off. Even if we got a bad offensive line, we have to come up with more creativity. Watch the San Francisco 49ers. He's saying publicly what everybody saw.
Yeah.
The 49ers, hey, Debo is going to play running back when we need him to play it. We're not going to hide that. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a great runner. He can catch the ball, but we're going to line him up in the backfield and we're going to dare you to stop him. Where you got LaVisca, you don't know how to use him.
Yeah.
Basically,
Basically.
you don't know how to use them. And when you got those kind of, it's like you just can't all put the blame on Daryl on the offensive coordinator. You can't put he does deserve some of the blame, Bevel, but
Yeah.
you can't put you gotta blame your head coach because
Yes.
he hired these guys and they're not getting the job done. And not only hiring them, you got guys on that coaching staff is calling up CBS Sports. They're calling up. They're sending this stuff out and trying to make it an issue. Because I'll tell you this, Brandon, he's going to have to make coaching changes, whether he likes it or not. They got to be if this team's going to go forward, he's going to have to make changes on his staff because they're not going to go forward in a positive way if he keeps that same staff intact. There's obviously, it doesn't have to be said. It doesn't have to be said at the press conference, but there are obviously some problems between Bevel and the head coach.
Yeah. And and I said this is that yes, we have a lack of talent. We see it with the wide receivers, the offensive line. But this is the thing. Even with the lack of talent that we don't have great talent. A coach should be able to scheme up subpar talent and at least be able to get pedestrian numbers out of them, like league average numbers. We don't have league average numbers nowhere. It's not even close. It's not even close. And so that shows me that you're talking about a coach who doesn't know how to scheme. Whether or not it might not necessarily be know how to scheme, but not only scheme, but adjust. Yeah. Okay, this is what you're running, but learning how to adjust. Cullen had an issue with that early in the season. Yeah. Cullen seems to know how to adjust now. Yeah. It's like he's learning on the job because now whatever they throw at him, he figures out a way how to counter it. In the defense, they haven't played a whole game where they've been dominated anymore. Right. It hasn't happened. They either gave up some early, clamped down late, or they clamped down early, gave up some late. But offensively, dude, start to finish, terrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible.
And you know something, we love our team in Jacksonville too much. But let me tell you something. There's no way, if you go back and look at those stats, there's no way a kid with that much talent should not. He doesn't have a touchdown pass in 3 consecutive games, and it's not being exposed enough. Like, how in the
Yeah.
world Trevor Lawrence has not thrown a touchdown pass in 3 weeks, in 3 games? I mean,
Three
that's
games.
unthinkable. You know, you
Yeah.
design something to get him in the end zone, because it is coming to a point where the kid is losing confidence in front of us. He's losing confidence. He don't trust his offensive line you really want to know the truth. Watch a tape of him playing in week 2 against Denver, and watch one now, because soon
Yeah.
as he's feeling the pressure, because he doesn't trust that offensive line.
Yeah.
There's too many breakdowns. There's too you get you the kid throw a third. It's 3rd and 6. He complete a 10-yard pass, and it's third down, and Jawan Taylor jumping offside and nullified.
Yeah.
It's like their depth is so bad, because this is what it is. Their depth is so bad that he can't bench a starter, because he's not gonna get the same in return. He's gonna get worse, and
Yeah.
that comes from talent evaluating and not admitting them. I mean, if the owner going to change everything, I mean, let's go back to the end of last season. If the owners decided that, which he did, that we're going to change everything, we're going to get rid of Dave Caldwell, which they did. They got rid of Doug Marrone, which they did. And we're going to move this in a new direction with new leadership and new decision making. Well, you can't go and add Urban Meyer and he hires a staff, and they're basically making the same mistakes that the previous regime did. I mean,
Yes.
why do you think they're 2-8? Because they did not do what they supposed to did in the off season. I don't let get talent walk over. If I gotta make an attempt, if I got more cash than anybody in the league, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sit on my cash. I'm gonna bring in players. I want to
Yeah.
win. This team should have more about winning than the one down the street in Tampa.
Yeah.
Because how you gonna fill that stadium up and you still making the same mistakes over and over and over? You don't have enough talent to compete with the big boys in the NFL. That's the bottom line. I don't care about Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor can only do so much. You had to convert a cornerback into a receiver, and he basically he's hurt
Was your
now.
number one?
But
Yeah,
he
he was
was
your
your
number
number
one
one
target.
guy. He's the only one that can get open, to get separation. That's an
Yeah.
indictment on this franchise. Hey, and I blame another thing. You can't judge people if you hadn't coached them. you know, and this
Yeah.
goes back to Darrell Bevel. You know, this thinking that I can only work with people I previously worked with, it shouldn't be outlawed in this league, because you let a good receiver coach who worked with limited talent, and he brought that talent up to a point that there was never an issue about the wide receivers with McCardell. Never,
No.
you know.
No.
And they didn't have great talent to be. Let's get that.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
And the guy wanted to be in Jacksonville, and this is what I heard was that, hey, they wanted to have somebody who, like their preferences. We want somebody that we're familiar with. We want somebody I worked with before,
Yeah.
and that's what they did. You don't cut Cullen Johnson. Come on, man. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't cut
Keelan
a
Cole.
developing player. You don't re-sign Keelan Cole when you could have got him for cheap. And
Yeah.
you wonder why they're in this situation. I like Marvin Jones, but Marvin Jones I mean, he's just a piece. He's
Yeah.
he's not an answer. You know. He's
Yeah.
not gonna. He ain't a speedster. Let's get that straight. And you just these decisions, and then you have the fans like, well, damn, man, how come our receivers don't look like the ones that play with the teams that win? Because you did not do your homework in the off season. That's why. Because to be honest, I mean, I've heard fans say on Twitter that from what we was reading in the off season, that the wide receivers group was the strongest group of them all as a
Yeah.
position group. But you
Yep.
had DJ Chark. DJ Chark got hurt. You had Cullen Johnson in training camp. You didn't think he was good enough, so you cut him.
Oh
And
yeah,
you can't make those are the mistakes that the Dave Caldwell made over and over and over again.
yeah,
You have to have talent. It doesn't matter if the other coach brought the talent in and you want all the credit for bringing in talent. You got to blend talent with the talent that's available because I don't think they got enough veteran talent, to be honest, on offense. I don't think they have enough,
no,
you
no,
know?
they don't. They don't. So let me get some of these comments on here. We piling up. Say the media is tossing around the idea of bringing Tebow on as a coach. Yeah, I've heard them talk about him. RG3 said he should be considered for the Florida job and all of that. I'm not buying into none of that, man. It's that's it's almost like his stint as a tight end. It seemed like publicity. See, you all right, Unc? Somebody didn't do their homework concerning this franchise's players on the offense or defense. It seems like the staff is trying to prove they can win with mediocre to
Yeah.
beat their chest and just say we know more than seasoned coaches, which is dangerous to the team's development.
Well,
Yeah,
let me say this on his statement. They're
yeah,
trying to say we gonna bring in our talent that what we evaluated and we're gonna win based on our evaluation. And have they
yeah.
done that? No. And if they
No,
continue to think that way, then it's not going to be any better than what it was with the other mistake, which is Dave Caldwell. So and he's got to make changes to his staff, and he's got to have long, deep conversations with Trent Baalke, because
yeah,
you cannot be a team that's what. So we're so let's see, they're 2-8, so they lose Sunday, it'll be a losing season for like the 11th time in 12 years. Hell, there's so many lost seasons, I done lost count. But
yeah,
anyway, it's another losing season if they lose this game tomorrow against the Falcons. When
yeah,
you have basically your tradition has been losing, you don't sit on money over the cap. You try to
yeah.
use it to bit yourself better. You know,
Hmm.
you're not Tampa Bay where you can sit and draft a guy and don't use him. That draft class, that's another mistake. You got a draft class, you moved up
Yeah,
nine spots to draft a defensive end that can't get on the field.
yeah,
Explain that to I mean, I want somebody to explain that to me. A kid who
yeah,
went to University of Alabama, Birmingham, and you
yeah,
moved up 9 spots to draft him when you know he was a developing player. So
yeah.
there's no such thing in the NFL as red shirt.
No.
I mean, come on. If who moves up 9 spots to get a guy that can't get on the field and it's week 12? I
Yeah.
mean,
I,
I mean,
I
I
so
don't want
say
to be like I'm bashing them, but come on, man, who does that?
yeah, yeah. Nesco said it looks like Meyer wasn't prepared to take this job, or he waited until the last minute to take the job. Yeah. Maxie, what's going on, man? He say somebody need to be fired. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, there's somebody need to be
Yeah,
fired, Maxie.
you're right. You got to stop making bad decisions. I mean,
Yeah.
bad decisions. I mean, I
Yeah.
I feel for the fans in Jacksonville. They want to see a winner. They pay that money. They sit in the hot sun. They do
Yeah.
all these different things just like any other fan, and they just want to win just like any other fan. But the season is won from January through free agency through through the OTAs. That's when the season is won, and that's when this franchise, lose all the time. Because
Yeah.
if you're not making right personnel decisions, if you're not drafting players to fill needs, I could have told you 3 years. I could have told you back in 2018 that Brandon Linder ain't gonna play a full season. I
Yeah.
could have told you Jawan Taylor is a good player, but he may not have been that player to be thrust into a starting role immediately after you drafted him.
Yeah.
I could have told you Cam Robinson, good, pretty good player, but this season probably was his best season. But if you look back on the years that he was in Jacksonville, a lot of technique problems, a lot of footwork problems, a lot of technique flaws. You
Yep.
know, maybe he could have been played at, could have been moved to a guard spot, to be honest. And
Yeah.
then Andrew Norwell, overpaid, hadn't produced, solid, not worth the money, but you don't have a solid guy to replace him if he messes up. Don't think those guys don't understand that, hey, they ain't got nobody behind me that can play better than me. So, I mean, that says a lot. Cause where I come from, competition means everything. Competition makes you better as a player. When I know I got somebody behind me that can move me out and play better than me, and the only reason why I'm in front of them because I'm a veteran, then I'm gonna play. When these guys look behind them, they're like, man, this kid can't. I mean, you think Ben Box
and like you said, Cam Robinson, this is his best year so far. Guess who's sitting behind Cam Robinson?
Yeah.
Walker Little. And when his back locked up, we found out, Walker Little can play. So the heat is on Cam Robinson now. And you're absolutely right about that. A few years ago, I could have told you about this tight end position. Years ago. I could have told you we're looking exactly at this right now if you don't draft tight ends or get one in free agency. Like Sunday, Nesco said we're not going to lose Sunday. Okay, Ness, I will tell you this, though. I'll make a prediction for Sunday right now. Kyle Pitts is going to go off Sunday. Kyle Pitts, they're going to look for Andrew Wingard, and Kyle Pitts is going to eat off the top of Andrew Wingard's head, probably.
And they got a veteran quarterback, man. I don't care what you say. The guy
Matt Ryan is going to.
Matt Ryan has had
no Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, no Shaquille. Veteran quarterback. And to be honest, if you put their talent against your talent, I mean, Atlanta has had a horrible season.
Yeah.
But they got nobody who can, unless they put, I mean, who they going to put? Chris Claybooks on Kyle Pitts? I mean, they got a problem on who's going to start on that side at cornerback.
Yeah.
It is. They're going to expose it. They're going to force that issue. They're going to have whoever line up as a starter on that side. That's where they're going to run those plays at for Kyle Pitts. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you see the game tomorrow, and who knows who it might be. It might be Nevin, or whoever.
Nevin Lawson, Nevin Lawson,
But whoever, that's where they're going to expose. They're going to get exposed, you know. I get it. Tyson Campbell has played better. You know, he's getting there. But still, he was thrust in that situation, and you have to have a young player to learn on the job. But the thing that I don't understand, you're gonna have some players have the chance to learn on the job, and there's others who can't get on the field. I mean, you tell me what the logic of that other than politics. I mean, I'm gonna be real tonight, man. It's like, come on, man. If Cisco can't get on the field and Tyson Campbell can get on the field, somebody in Jacksonville tell me why. Why not? You know, Wingard can make the calls. He's a short-term answer. Meyer is not in this for a short-term fix. He's in this for a long-term haul. You know, he's got to change. I mean, he's got to go in a toolbox is bigger than a mansion to change this franchise around.
Yeah.
And I say bigger than a mansion. That's how big that toolbox got to be for him to change it. So 1 year, what they are, 2-8. 1 year is not going. You think if they win 3 years from now, that anybody gonna care about what they did in 221?
No.
But the long-term fix is this: you're gonna have to play that kid eventually. And when you do play him, he's going to be behind because you didn't give him a chance to play in any game type situation. So he's going to be learning on the job all next year and the season after that when he could have been learning this year. You know?
Yeah.
Those are decisions that you have to make. If you're a winning franchise, you got to know your talent or don't draft him or make a trade or utilize. You cannot draft guys that you can't use immediately. But not with this franchise. If you Tampa Bay, if you're the Patriots, if you the Rams, where you don't need to use young talent and you got veterans that you can literally sign off the street and come in like Von Miller, you're not in that position. Those are Rams. You're not in that position to do that. You got to rely on young players.
Yeah. See, and let's say 2017 got it right except for Bortles. Duplicate that team and we'll be a winning franchise for a while again. Shoot, man, it's a few pieces from that team that should still be here. Jalen Ramsey and Yannick Ngakoue should still be here.
Yeah.
Both of them are playing at a high level. I think Yannick Ngakoue just hit 6 straight years of 8+ sacks.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like
he's got a sack in the last 5 games. I believe he had 2 the other night.
Yeah.
He had 2 last night. I mean Thursday night. He's got 5 in the last 5. He's got a sack in 5 straight games. At least 1 sack in 5 games.
Yeah. Right. We know what Jalen Ramsey is doing. Shoot, you look at Allen Robinson, who's still making plays. I mean, it's so many players that drafting Taven Bryan and not taking Lamar Jackson, of course. I mean, the mistakes run deep, but Meyer and them, they pretty much have been. Put it this way: if this was a Scooby-Doo reveal and we caught who the real villain was, and you go to unmask the villain, and you think that it's Doug Marrone and David Caldwell, now you take it off. Oh no, this Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke. It's the same thing. We're doing the exact same thing that this has been done for the last couple of years, man.
And this is
it's tiring.
It's not bash the Jaguars night, but let me tell you. Let me give you some more examples. They got a tight end that they got from the Carolina Panthers in a trade. They didn't get him till September the 27th. And he's right now their 3rd leading receiver, and he's only played, it was already 5 games played when he came in here. And he's their 3rd leading receiver. And let's take it to another step on that. The 3rd leading receiver, they play the 49ers, and the guy don't get a pass thrown to him for the whole game. Because he got bracketed. He got bracketed, and they couldn't find a way to get him the ball. That tells you all you need to know right there. They bracketed a tight end who they felt was their top threat to stop. So they put 2 guys on, and the Jaguars couldn't find no way to get him the ball. I mean, what is that?
Because, not to compare him to these guys because these guys are in a different class, but Jacksonville bracketed George Kittle, did they not? George Kittle still caught passes, did he not? It's just, come on, man. The proof is in the pudding,
Debo too, but did he still run the ball? Yeah,
man. Man. Let's see. Let's say I see your prediction and I raise you. They will shut Pitts down. He will be doubled. This will be an offensive outburst. I don't know about an offensive outburst.
I like my man Ernesto, but come on, man. I think who you predicted today also. You predicted the Florida State, right?
Oh, they did lose, didn't they? Ooh,
did they lose? Man, come on, it wasn't even close. This team, I'm gonna say this, man. This team do not have anybody who can cover that Kyle Pitts if they isolate. Now they might could cover him in zone, but they ain't got nobody who can cover this kid in no isolated man-to-man coverage.
Man-to-man, no.
And they're gonna force the issue.
Yeah. And
he's
the one guy
and Nevin Lawson is like 5'8". I mean, come on, man.
the one guy that probably could stick him because he has that type of skill is sitting on the bench. So
hurt.
So it is
what it is, man. You gotta we live in a way where you gotta expose the matchup, and they're gonna expose that matchup. And I see that on. I mean, he got good, and he's coming off a bad game against the Patriots.
Oh yeah, they're gonna force feed Kyle Pitts the footballs tomorrow. I'm just letting you know. Get ready. I see they bought Mickens back, which should interject Agnew into the offense. Well, Agnew's done. Agnew's done for the year. That was nasty looking too. The way I could tell. I was like, he said it wasn't the leg. He said it was the hip. He just got caught in the ground. It was so awkward. But watching that Sunday, watching what the San Francisco 49ers did, I'm like, this is the model you need to have for Trevor. Look at what they did on offense, man. They were physical, they ran the football, they stayed ahead of the chains, and they kind of and for Garoppolo, it was game manager type because Garoppolo at no point stood out and made these incredible throws during the game. They got out physical on the ground. That's just what it was.
Yeah.
He just didn't make any mistakes. But early, when they rattled him a little bit early, but he just didn't make the mistakes he makes when he gets under duress from time to time.
Well, I asked Urban Meyer what it was Friday. I asked him, I said, Coach, how come you guys don't run bunch sets and motion plays? And his response was, we run those plays. I mean, I love those plays. We run them. You know, we may not run them a lot, but we got plays designed for those. And I said, I ain't say this, but I just said to myself, I ain't seen them.
I mean, it's
when
rare.
You see three receivers bunched up in a set on the left side.
Dude, hand maybe. I mean, count on one hand how many times I've seen it. I haven't seen it many times. Shoot, we talked about it. Rub routes, and that too. I mean, they ran rub routes Sunday, but they hadn't run many of those at all. So him and Bevel are done. They're done. They're done. The philosophies it's two separate philosophies, two separate mindsets. It's time to go.
They're not clicking. Especially if the head coach come out and say that we need more creativity, and the head coach come out and say, "Oh, wait a minute, what's this?"
He said, "Hey, that FSU versus Gator, it was 24-21. So they lost by a field goal." He said, "Remember, I said that this will be an offensive outburst Sunday." So he's predicting that the Jaguars offense will find some life and put points up on the board. I am not there yet. I don't see where is it coming from.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
How's going what? James Robinson's still hurt, but he's gonna play. So I don't see how they can't get a receiver to get open. The best receiver they got is hurt, so I don't see it.
Yeah, unless they put Visca in the backfield and he go ham or something crazy like that, man.
I would like to see that. So
yeah. Hey, he got it. He say Jags 28-10. Whoa. Woo. That's woo, man. I don't know about that one right there.
Man, I must have missed that Florida State game. So they scored 21 points. When I cut my TV off, it was like 24-7.
Yeah,
they scored some points. The starters were still in the game, or they put the backups in.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get to see any of the game.
I want somebody to tell, because when I started with 24-7, so when they scored 20, they scored 2 touchdowns. What it was garbage time or making the score look close?
Hey, I don't know. But shoot, the Bama game. When I turned the Bama game off, it was 10-0. I'm like, oh, this game over with, man. Ain't nothing happening, and they just won 24-22. So
okay, I just want to.
He said, Uncle John. He said, Uncle John,
I just want to make sure the starter was in the game when they scored on 2 touchdowns, because it looked like I saw a fumble. I said, man, I can't watch this crap, man. I gotta go watch Michigan and Ohio State, the real game.
Yeah.
Right. Man, I took my wife to breakfast this morning. I saw all these Florida State shirts and all that. I said, man, I know it's gonna be a good. I might have to go over and cross the bridge and become a Florida State fan. And then I saw mistake after mistake. They can't. And right. Brandon, you know you're Florida. Ain't you Florida State, man?
No, Alabama, man. Alabama.
You show, man.
I'm positive.
Show. You ain't wore a Florida State shirt on this show?
Nope. No, you have not seen garnet and gold on this show.
You ain't never wore a Florida State shirt last year?
Nope.
Man,
nope,
you
never.
got too many people in your family rooting for them Seminoles now. Come
on.
Oh,
no, they there. Hey, the Gators too. I'm on each side. You got Florida State fans, you got Gator fans over here.
All right, now they get back to being 10-2 and Sugar Bowl champs. You can't come back and say you a Seminole fan now. Come on now.
No, I don't. Yeah. But I don't know. Sunday, I don't see them winning this game Sunday, man. I think that there's too much turmoil on offense. Defense is the only thing they can hang their hat on right now. And if the offense continues to sputter, I mean, those guys they're gonna be done by the fourth quarter. Like, it's just what it is. So you see, Falcons defense is ranked 26, Jags defense is ranked 20th, Jags 28, Falcons 10. Yeah, they're right. So yeah, and that game is here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Home field advantage don't make much of a difference recently.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. So we're gonna wrap up this Jags talk. But just in conclusion and our last final thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Things have to change. The coaching staff has to change. Whether it's a new offensive coordinator, if Dan Mullen is the guy, then go ahead, bring him here. I know he's a great quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's his work with Nick Fitzgerald, Dak Prescott, and a plethora of other quarterbacks at Mississippi State. So I think he could be a good fit here. But Darrell Bevell has to go. Darrell Bevell's got to go. And I was talking to my buddy T Smalls, and he was saying, "Nah, man, you go with the champion. I mean, he's a champion." I said, "Yeah, he's a champion because he was coaching the Seattle Seahawks." I said, "If Darrell Bevell was a offensive coordinator for Jaguars, those years for the Seahawks, he would have won nothing." So, I mean, yeah, he had great talent up there, and now he doesn't have that talent.
Yeah.
So now you have to scheme. Now you got to actually coach.
Yeah.
And he's hampering, and it's crazy. Everybody outside, especially the pundits, different platforms. Chris Sims talked about it. David Carr has talked about it. Bucky Brooks just dropped a article about it. They're using him. The way they're using him is stunting his development.
Yeah.
It is. It's stunting Trevor's development, and it's been called out. And that's something it has to change.
Well, and you gotta use play action passing. I mean,
Yeah.
What team has lost as much as this one gotta use play action passes? You gotta take downfield shots. I don't care if you got a guy, all your receivers running 5.340s. You still gotta throw the ball downfield. You still got to have some creativity. You got to do things that you don't do every week. You got to put some new wrinkles into the playbook. And it just seems, let's go back. It just seems like this playbook is no different than the Flippo or whatever his name was.
DeFilippo? Oh, my God.
Yeah, whatever his name was. It just seems
DeFilippo.
like
Yeah,
the playbook is generic as that was.
Yeah.
And you can't put your guys in position to win because your playbook is they know what you're gonna do. You don't have receivers that can draw double coverage, unless it's Dan Arnold, who's a tight end, and the tight end, he's a good guy. He's helped you, but he's not gonna go downfield and catch no 40-yard pass. They are gonna bracket him in there for intermediate stuff, which he does, and they couldn't get that to him.
Yeah.
You got to speak the truth about this team, man. It's like,
Speaking of coaches, Greg Olsen, who used to coach here, I think isn't he in Vegas right now with the Raiders? I think because I think I saw him. Yeah. Look what he's doing with that Raiders offense right now, man.
Well, the former head coach with the Raiders,
right?
He's coaching Yannick.
Yeah, he's coaching
and doing a better job than what they used him here with.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Kassan Carter says no dog in the fight. But Jags lose another game. Jags haven't scored more than 2 touchdowns in forever. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since they scored 2 touchdowns. And but Nesco said they're gonna score 4 Sunday. So we're going to see how that pans out, man.
He's hoping that the Falcons ate a lot of turkey on Thursday.
Yeah, but we are due for that game where they just score a lot of points. Even no matter how bad they've been, they've had those games where they'll put up some points.
Hey,
Brandon, I don't know if it'll be Sunday though.
You wait on that game when they play Houston in a couple of more weeks. That might be the only one. It ain't gonna. It may not. I'll say this now. The Nesco says this. Falcons are bad, but I done seen bad teams rise up, score like they at will. Go back to the Houston game, and they haven't had a game like that since.
Yeah,
I don't think Denver good, but Denver did enough to beat this team, and it is what it is. They 2-8, And we got to stop being like, man, come on, man. In Jacksonville, we got to start stating the truth, man. We got a bad football team. We 2-8.
Bad football team.
You only one more win than what you had last year at the same point last year that went 1-15 with the same offensive line and worse receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, man. It's like this team gotta get. I mean, let's just say this season is over with. This is window dressing for the rest of the season.
That's it. He said 20 and take 10. Just remember who said it. Hassan Carter say 4. Man. Whoever said that 4 touchdowns, I put a wager on that now. I put my 2-week paycheck on that. And Hassan Carter say put up a shut up.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure when 28-10 score come and it's the Falcons, and I'm gonna tweet that say, yep, he said it. He said it.
Hey, for sure.
He said it.
Yeah, he said truth is we could be 0-10 like the Lions. Yeah, we could be winless like the Lions too. The Lions having a bad year. They having a terrible year.
Well, I tell you what, 2-8, 0-10.
Yeah, it
ain't that much far from it.
It ain't that much far from it. I'd rather have a W or 2 on the board than to have none, though.
Yeah, I'd rather see about 5 dubs and then okay.
Yeah, right. So, let's see what he say. He said, "Give me my money now, cash at me."
Man, they hadn't scored. Like, what put the facts on the table here, on the breakfast table? They hadn't scored more than 23 points all season.
Yeah, they haven't, have they?
No, the quarterback hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in almost a month. Yeah. James Robinson still humble. He's still not 100%.
Yeah, he's still gimpy.
And who knows? He may not start. The kid worked to get back into the start lineup, and 2 weeks ago he don't start. So I like the defense. I think the defense is good, but I don't know if they. When you lose a starter like Shaquille Griffin and you got a kid coming in here like Kyle Pitts, you got a veteran quarterback in the Falcons, and I just saw the first opening 20-play drive in my life.
Man, I've never seen anything like that before. But it wasn't for those penalties, though. Those penalties, man. I mean, penalties at the wrong time.
Wrong time.
And like you said, at least 2 penalties, the team's gonna score.
But I like the defense, though, Brent. I
like them.
I used to be at the point that, man, I just don't think Joe Cullen cut out to be a coordinator. I think he's maybe a great defensive line coach.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a cut out to be a coordinator. So what struck? What changed? The guy done made great adjustments. He's blitzing. He's doing things. I like what he's done, regardless of what happened early in the season. I like what he's done.
Yeah, no, and I do like what Joe Cullen has done. I think that, man, he has a scrappy group of guys, which we saw shades of it in the preseason, especially against the Saints. After the Saints went over the top and murderized our DBs, they played some good football after that. Yeah. And they hadn't put together full games until I think the Buffalo game is where they put together their first full game, start to finish, lockdown defense, and it's carried on. And then you got to think about it too. It's a good defense, but I mean, Josh Allen is probably your only star. If we're being honest, that's your only star. The rest of these guys are just a bunch of guys, man. And you're playing team football. Rudy Ford, you have guys who played pretty well. Rudy Ford, I got to give him his props. Dewan Smoot, Malcolm Brown. Taven Bryan. Got to give Taven Bryan his props. Got to give Taven his props, man.
Yeah, he's played good.
He's played well, man.
It took him 4 years, but it is what it is. We ain't gonna bash him tonight, but he played good.
Tyson Campbell went from being one of the worst rated cornerbacks in the league to now they say he's jumped like 30 points in the last couple of weeks with his play, man. He's played fairly well. So yeah, this defense by committee, I think, is very good, and they can add a few more pieces to this. I would say you go get a corner. I definitely go bring in another pass rusher.
Yeah.
You maybe you could bring another linebacker, add another player to each level of the defense, and go from there.
Yeah.
He said the defense is ready to eat for sure.
Cornerback.
Oh yeah,
They need another corner. I
need
don't
another
know
corner.
what's that safety. Play Cisco. That's what I say.
That's what Nesco said. I saw 38 on the field, so I saw him for a few plays. He needs to play more.
Yeah.
He needs to play more.
Gotta get some reps.
Yep. So yeah, man. But I guess we're gonna wrap that Jaguars talk up right there. I think we pretty much covered all the bases, man. We talked about college football and talk about the big house. It went down in the big house today. Alabama, like the cardiac kids today.
No, Auburn just chokers. That's what that was.
Yeah, they
Auburn just
man.
major chokers, man.
Yeah, he said Atlanta got shut out last Thursday. They will redeem themselves. Bills overtook the Jags in that field goal game, Buffalo game. Guys look and say easy win, but didn't come. Took it lightly. Oh yeah, he said the Jaguars got talent as coaching. They don't have much talent though, but it is coaching why they're currently the way they are. But they're not as talented as you may think. But the coaching makes them look much worse. And the Buffalo game, though, I wouldn't say that Buffalo necessarily took the Jaguars lightly. I think personally, I don't think that they necessarily took us lightly. I think that the Buffalo coaching staff got out coached.
Yeah,
that's that. Because they're too talented. They're too talented. They're top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams. Their talent outweighs the Jaguars. Or just on by everywhere. I mean, pick a position, and they're going to have a more talented player at that position more times than not. They got out coached. That's what that was about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And we uncovered all of it. Yes, they covered the college football, covered that NBA, talked about Mr. Ben Simmons and LeBron James and Enes Kanter. Apparently, he's the new spokesperson for Black people, Mr. Enes Kanter.
Yeah, Enes Kanter, boy. We got to remember that one.
Yeah, we definitely got to remember that one.
Boy, Michigan 42-27. Oh, that mercy. I'll never remember when Michigan scored 42 points on Ohio State, man.
I don't think I've ever seen it. If it must have happened in probably back in the 60s or 70s. It might have been a score like that. But I know it ain't been nothing in the last 20, 30 years, anything like that. Yeah. So if we can beat the Bills, we can definitely beat the Falcons 28-10, baby. Now that's true. I will. Hey, Ness, I'm on you with that. If you could beat the Bills, you can beat the Falcons. This is a winnable game. I just don't think they're going to win it.
Ness must have went to Vegas and put some wagers on the Jags, man.
Hey. Ness
got some under and over business going on, boy. You feel that with some conviction that they're gonna win, man.
Hey, Nesco done went to Vegas and he done put on his Wesley Snipes voice. Yeah. Always bet on black.
28-10. And that's though you must have got that over and under. Something going on with you, man. You know, went to Vegas and laid a wager on it. Jags, you hear? He said you're gonna win 28-10. So you better get to playing, man.
Hey, time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, get some takeaways. You know, it's hard getting them takeaways with the Jags. So hopefully they get some tomorrow. But
yeah. You got to get some takeaways, man. That's the only way you're gonna win this game is get takeaways. And Trevor and that offense got to manufacture some points out of somewhere, dog. Like you got to figure out a way. You got to figure out a way to manufacture some points. See, I haven't bought a ticket yet, but we'll get one tonight to see Ernesto. Meet me in any bar in Jacksonville. Let's make this official.
Hey, it sounds like a challenge to me, man.
Man, yeah.
Sound like some Buffalo Wild Wings or something, man. That look like something over some wings and some brews or something, man.
Yeah, man. because this we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see how it unfolds tomorrow, man. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This was a good show tonight, man. It was a good show. And so we went 2 hours again. Hey, we be getting it in, man. You get this barbershop talk, man. Hey, Nesco say sneakers on the beach. So he's calling it sneakers on the beach. Sneakers on the beach. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Nesco
man.
done got with his bookie, man.
Hey, that's it. That's it. But he said, I take any high school in Jacksonville to score more points than the Jaguars. Oh,
hey, man, it ain't hard to bash him, is it?
It ain't hard. It's not hard. It's not hard to bash him, man. It's not hard. It's not hard to bash him, man.
The Jaguars take it on the chin every week, boy. That's the easiest team in America to get it.
Yeah, easiest, man. Oh my goodness. It's terrible, man.
Change is coming. Change is coming.
Change is coming, though. Hey, out of all of it for the Jaguar faithful who watch my show, man, let's get some positivity going before we end the show. We don't want to end on a negative note. Let's get some positivity.
I think I heard that negativity, man.
Hey, I know, right?
Man, I've seen more losses than 217 and I care to watch. I thought coming to Jacksonville, it'd be better than watching that basketball team I cover, especially that 18 and 64 season. But good Lord, I'm an expert on writing losing game stories.
Oh my God.
Lord, I'm an expert. What they didn't do. What happened here? Takeaways. Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's it. So, but we're gonna end on a positive note, man. Change is coming. Change is on the way. It's not gonna stay this way. There's gonna be change. And whether they get it right, get it wrong, we don't know. But at least they are going to change. Oh, yeah. Another positive note. Zion has been cleared to play.
Oh, Lord.
Zion has been cleared to play. He's been cleared for contact. You see, before y'all go, I will win a 12-pack and a bottle of liquor every week at my last job at the post office. Had a full bar in-house. Oh, man, a 12-pack and a bottle of liquor every week? Dude, well, you worked at the post office, so you needed that drink. So I understand. The post office, they did you a solid because that's needed to work at the post office. Yeah. Hey, there's a reason they make jokes about people going postal. Let's see. So my Zion cleared to play. Yeah, Zion is cleared to play. So hey, he's back. He's going to be back on the court. Man. Hey, he's gonna have to wipe off the powdered sugar off his jersey from the beignets.
Hey man, he cleared to play, but it's gonna take the whole season for him to get in shape. The rest of the season.
Yeah, it's gonna need rest of the season for him to get back
in shape.
He'll
be in shape in March.
Yeah, he'll be in shape in March. Oh yeah. So man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We about to get up out of here. Make sure y'all follow me on all my social medias. Follow Mr. Reid on Twitter, Jacksonville.com, Florida Times-Picayune. Let's see, what did I got? Oh, I'm back tomorrow. I got a show tomorrow. Me and Sean Taylor talk candid conversations. And what was the topic? Oh, be prepared for the hate is the topic we have tomorrow. And we're going to talk about it and how when you are getting ready to change your life, you're going in a different direction or you're achieving or anything like that in life, and you're going against the grain. Be prepared for the dissent and the hate that you may get from people, during that time. Because like we talked about young Dolph on our last show, everybody's not happy for you. Everybody's not excited. Everybody doesn't want to see you flourish. It's a lot of people who come from where you come from. They didn't make decisions you made, and they don't like the fact that you made it out and they didn't. So you have to remember those things.
Yes, sir. That's well said.
Yeah, man. So it's a great. Hey, the case Kasai said great show. Sneakers, I'm there. So he said sneakers on the beach. He there. He gonna be there. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Carter. Hey, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And oh man, I didn't even know all these people like the thing. Okay. So we had a good little bit of viewers today. He said, got to get in on that convo. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, Ness, we're going to do it early before football. So 11 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to talk. Me and Sean Taylor, we're going to chop it up. If we don't have, I'll let y'all know if there's any cancellation or anything like that. But that's what's going on tomorrow. Me and Mr. Reed will be back next week. And I know the news cycle is going to continue to be crazy because this season, I mean, it's been, and it's not the sign of the times because we've had this news cycle and where news travels like this for the last couple of years. But I don't know, to me, it just seemed like the stories are just every day.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day. It hasn't been a dull moment for the last 2 years. Since 2020 started, it's been something in the news cycle every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. Something newsworthy, man. It's craziness.
Yeah,
I did, so we'll have plenty next week.
Yeah. We need to talk about why the Magic's so bad.
We'll do a breakdown on Orlando Magic, man, and find out what they are.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to watch them some the other night. I was with my dad, and I was thinking about you. I said, I wonder if he's watching this game right now, man. I forgot who they were playing.
Well, I love the NBA, but I ain't driving 2 hours and 30 minutes to go see that, bro.
No. Not going 2 hours and 30 minutes to see that.
I can't watch 15 minutes without turning the TV away from that, boy. They got a beautiful arena, though. But
yeah, Amway is beautiful, but if I want to watch losing professional games, I'd stay here in Jacksonville, man. I don't have to go to Orlando to watch that.
Yeah, the folks in Orlando probably saying the same thing about our team up here too. So,
they talk trash all the time. Yeah, Mike Bianchi and all of them, they be talking that noise.
Yeah, I'd like to know what he writing about the Magic, though. Good Lord, they got they garbage, man.
Yeah, but the Magic are hot garbage. He said, or why Ruggs missed his court appearance. Yeah, I did hear about that. He did miss it. He missed a court appearance. And it said something to do with him he had missed an alcohol test or something like that as well.
Yeah, he missed the test.
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, man. We're gonna wrap this up here, fellas. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna check out the rest of this Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State up 24-17, 3:45 left in the second. So I'm gonna tune into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm watching LSU beating up on Texas A&M, man.
Oh yeah, I see that too. 17-7. I'm gonna have to check some of that out too, man. But I appreciate y'all once again.
Peace out.
Hey, look, he say go Noles. Let's say go Noles.
What did Noles finish, man? 5-6, 5. What they are? 5-7.
I think so. I think they 5-7.
I'm not going to talk about them no more. I like Florida State, man. I'll leave it at that. That's something positive. I like them Seminoles, man.
Yeah, football in the Sunshine State guy has to get better. the Bucks can't carry it for so long, man. The Bucks can't carry it.
You got that right, but Lord have mercy, boy. It's hard being a football fan in our state, man.
Yeah, man. College, pro. Oh my goodness, but it is what it is, man. But we will talk to y'all next time, man. We are out of here. Peace out.